everyone. Welcome back to another rant episode / podcast. My name is Andini, and I hope you are relaxing. I hope you are folding your laundry. Maybe you're cleaning your room, eating, doing your makeup. Relax, do something else. You don't need to watch me unless you want to. I took a nap and watched The Office, and now I feel rejuvenated. I tried to record this podcast earlier, and I was like, I'm literally falling asleep while I'm talking. So I was like, I don't think anyone wants to experience that. So here we go. I'm swaddled in a blanket from the waist down because my house is so cold. I thought I would talk today a little bit about social media and the effects of it. Obviously, I'm again trying to keep it under 20 minutes. So it is a condensed version of my thoughts because I really could go on and on about this. So backtracking maybe on my own experience with social media, I just didn't have it while growing up. I don't know what people were on. And then I think in grade 8 or maybe grade 9, I think, no, definitely it wasn't middle school. I think it was grade 9 or grade 10. I was able to persuade my parents to let me use Facebook. And I was only allowed to, use it on certain days for, 20 minutes or something. It was a very specific rule at first. I was very excited because all my friends were getting on Facebook, and I wanted to have, a profile picture and friend people and be able to chat with them, because for that, during middle school, I was just emailing people on Gmail all the time. MySpace was not really a thing. I don't even know when MySpace was a thing. It wasn't a thing when I went to high school, so everyone was on Facebook. I think in late high school, people were getting more on Snapchat and very premierly, if I can use that as an expression, Instagram. I had an iPod Touch, so I could Snapchat and be on Instagram when I had Wi-Fi. So I would Snapchat people. That's definitely how I talk to guys and friends. And then Instagram, I kind of made an account grade 12 that was private. And I think I just uploaded angsty Tumblr aesthetic photos and photos of Harry Styles and Zayn Malik. It was a mood. I don't know. I think I deleted that account and all the photos, pretty sure. But in general, I kind of was lucky to grow up, at least as a kid, without social media really being incorporated. And I think it's so difficult to be a parent right now, and have to regulate, and also set an example for your child of what is a healthy use with technology and with social media. I just can't imagine being a parent. I think if I was a parent right now, I would literally probably become a Luddite and move to a cottage to raise my child. But then there's also the danger of if you did something that so quote unquote extreme, which in reality is just how humans have evolved, were designed to live, was just without technology. But if you went and lived with no technology and no social media, and then were raising a child in that environment and then introduce them into society, you'd have to do that very carefully, because that could backfire in a huge way where your child would just want to be on technology and computers all the time. Now, as a young person trying to formulate your own opinion on certain subjects, I think can be very difficult, because you have on social media so many people voicing their opinions and telling you basically what is the quote unquote correct way to think. If you're on it, you're seeing things, you're absorbing images, text, videos, sounds, and that has to affect your brain and your thinking in some way. I just think it's very important for young people, especially young teenagers right now, to experience social media and the internet, but to still be able to formulate your own opinions without the use of the internet, or pick up a book, I don't know, or go experience the world. Anyways, when it comes to social media, if you're on it, your data is being collected. End of story. I think, in my opinion at least, whatever you're doing on the internet, someone else can see it and track it, be like, oh, they spent 5 seconds more looking at this video of this blogger or of this makeup brand versus this one, so we should target her with more ads like this. It's terrifying. I think social media is manipulating us in ways that we don't even fully understand as consumers, as everyday users. I think if I had been off social media for the past few years, my way of thinking, my way of looking at the world, my style, my approach, the words that I use, everything would be radically different. And I don't know if that would be a truer version of myself or not, or if that would just be a different version. And would that version be more ignorant of current society and how we stand? Or would I be more differentiated from other people? I didn't say that word right. I don't know. This is a rant today. This is just like a ramble. But yeah, it really makes me anxious, social media, to think about the effects it's having on really young people, especially I'd say people who are like 11, 12, 13 right now and growing up on TikTok and all of that. And look, every generation, even like 10 years ago, were like, oh, I'm nervous for the kids that are growing up just using Snapchat and Instagram, you know? So like there's always going to be anxiety when it comes to new technologies and new forms of communicating and socializing online and learning. But I think TikTok is a whole other ball game because your attention span is being reduced to nothing. We're going to be like goldfish like in a couple of years. I think we'll just be like this, and the ability to sit down and enjoy a book without looking at your phone, or enjoy a 1.5 hour movie without looking at your phone. All of that will be, I think, eradicated, or at least at the very least challenged. It'll be a challenge for people to sit down and give their full attention, give their focus. The lunch bell just rang, so I'm going to go eat lunch. I'll be right back. Another obvious topic that I should touch on, especially for all the girls watching. I need more girls watching. Send this to your girlfriends. Is the effect of social media that it just has on young women. I just think it is the most toxic place you could ever be virtually as a young woman is on the internet, on Instagram. It's just rough. Continually having to compare yourself. And it's not that you can try to make a choice not to compare yourself when you see another photo of a beautiful woman, but inevitably, as part of human nature, I think we just do. And it's really difficult. Or to look at someone and their aesthetic online and being like, they're so cool, I want to be like that. And then trying to match someone's aesthetic, which especially in the online world is just a construct that is not even practical or livable. Like half the outfits that influencers wear online, you could not actually do things in. But I think, as a young woman, it's very difficult to be online and have a healthy relationship with it. And the way ads are just force-fed, stuffed into you as a young person, no matter your gender, online, is just awful. It's disgusting. I hate society for doing that. It's so normal for me to look at ads now. It just comes up now on my Instagram every day. Remember when Instagram had no ads? Remember, I would pay money right now to not have ads on Instagram, but I would be simultaneously angry that I am paying to have no ads. Why can't we just enjoy? I get it. Companies need to earn money. Instagram needs to earn money. The thing to remember is that Instagram does not care about your mental health. Instagram does not give a flying rat's ass how your mental health is doing. What they care about is selling you stuff on there. I don't care what Instagram says. I'm sorry. This may be why I'm not verified on Instagram yet, because they hate me. But I truly believe Instagram does not usually care about the user. They care about the experience you have in the fact that they hope your experience is pleasant and that you are introduced to things that you're already interested in and maybe feel like you want to buy something or follow this person who's also selling you things. And I could be a hypocrite for saying that because obviously I've done sponsored posts as well. But look, Instagram is also a way to earn money. And it can be good money sometimes, and when you need money and it's offered to you in a way that, is just a photo and a video, why not do it? But it's hard, it's difficult. And, I've been really told that I need to make more content on Reels and TikTok, but at the same time, am I just contributing to the noise that's already on the internet, to the detriment of society if I just make more weird, mindless, TikToks and Reels? There's already so much garbage on the internet. That's the problem, is there's so much garbage that is being inputted into our system, especially young people's system, and it's very hard to differentiate what is something good for you to be imbued with and what is something that's negative, and will create certain mindsets or expectations on yourself that you just don't need as a young person or as a person at all. And just the amount of falsity that there is on social media from influencers and how they portray their lives is difficult. And then, like, there's apps like Be Real, for example, which are becoming very popular. I'm not on it, but from what I've seen with friends who have it, it's basically like once a day you're reminded, hey, go on our app and take a photo with your back and front facing camera of just wherever you are. It's unfiltered. It's just for your close friends. There you go. That's really great. And I think it's a good way of connecting people. But at the same time, my personal view on it is like, my God, like, I don't want another app to post stuff on. I'm so exhausted. It's exhausting. It's fun, but it can also be exhausting. Social media is supposed to be fun, and I think it can be, and I've definitely found joy in it, and I find joy in it when I post about things that I'm really passionate about, and it's usually some dead person that nobody cares about. This is my problem. I don't know. There's so many different things to talk about on social media. I don't know why I gave myself this topic. I should have been more specific. But it's difficult. And I think social media and relationships is a whole other genre. It's a whole other ball game that is just terrifying, honestly. Look, I've met a lot of people online, and I'm really thankful for that and that opportunity, and to have connected with people that typically in real life I would not have bumped into or met. But I think once you are in a relationship, social media as a girl can be so hard. And I'm talking about obviously like a heterosexual relationship, which has been my experience. It's so hard when you are dating a guy who is active on social media, because you're just, as a girl, worried about what they're looking at, who they're talking to, who they're, but you can't control that. But at the same time, I think men need to have some sort of self-control when it comes to social media and the internet to be in a healthy relationship, or else it's just not going to work. Let's just say, as a young person, I think it's almost better if your partner is not very active on social media. I think that's maybe one of the best ways to have a peaceful relationship. Or if you have a partner and they are active on social media, I'm sorry, they better post you. They better celebrate your existence and make sure that other people know that you are in a relationship, because I think people who completely hide their relationship, unless they're extremely Meryl Streep famous and they, and they really need privacy, I think that's stupid. Like, celebrate your partner once in a while. If you're posting the rest of your life online, why not post your partner? It's just my opinion. And it's hard getting into toxic habits. It's hard as a girl when you have if you're dating someone, or just, you could be a guy too, and looking at your partner's exes or like past flings and comparing yourself and being like, oh my God, I don't look like that. Oh my God, I don't do these things. I'm not as cool, all these things. That is just horrible. Comparison on social media is, I think, the worst part of it. Second is ads and the inundation and encouragement and rampant celebration of consumerism. That is disgusting. We're living in this, at least in certain parts of the world, through social media, we live in this very excessive, we live in a world that is very encouraging of excessive lifestyle, of a kind of bacchanalian, Dionysian lifestyle that I think is just highly unrealistic. And at the end of the day, buying all this stuff is not going to make you happy. And if you're following influencers that make you feel bad about yourself, or make you feel like, oh my God, I'm not enough, or I need to buy this thing that they sell or this thing that they wear so that I can feel cool, take a step back. And like, that's disturbing that you don't feel enough as you are, because this person, you've given the power to this person on the internet to make you feel like you're not. And it's not necessarily that person's fault. I think that's a case by case basis and what kind of content they post, but you can just make the simple action of unfollowing them. Look, people unfollow me all the time. That's just part of life. I'm sure they have all their own reasons, and that's just how it is. I just think you can't. And you also to remember, just because someone has millions of followers doesn't mean that they should be a role model. Okay? Also, people just buy followers on Instagram. You could buy hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. So like, just because someone looks like they have a cool profile and lots of followers doesn't actually mean them as a person is interesting or is making an impact or should be celebrated as a role model or like a change maker or, you know, in general, there's so many influencers that just promote a very unhealthy body image for a lot of women, the way you should dress as well, the way you should look, and this like weird aesthetic lifestyle that nobody can achieve. Like, even I will go on Instagram and I'll see people post like photo dumps where it's just like 10 spontaneous photos of their life, like food, people they saw, dogs, whatever, nature. And even I look at that and go, oh God, they must be so cool, like, and mysterious. And I don't live a life that could anywhere look like that. Even though it's supposed to be a very unfiltered version of your life, it ends up being something that still is very curated and posted. And even just because the photos look like garbage iPhone photos or, you know, spontaneous messy photos, you still get a feeling from those photos, or at least I do, of being, oh my God, they're so cool and I'm not. And maybe if I post a photo dump like that, other people will think I'm cool. And that mindset is just like, why is this even part of our lives now? I just think it's way better to be off social media. But look, for my job, I'm on it. I have to be here. I could retire to a forest and a cottage and be a lot, and no social media, and be a lot maybe happier mentally. But there is the positive side, which I haven't really touched on that much during my rant, is just like connection with people. Sometimes, you know, most of my friends don't live where I live. I see most of my best friends a couple times a year. So having social media and being able to connect with them is really beautiful. And I'm really grateful for that, and phones and technology. But I think the other part of social media, you know, like I don't follow any influencery person that makes me at all feel bad about myself. I try and immediately cut that off. In the past, I just used to block models that would pop up a lot in my feed because I was like, I don't want to look at this. Sometimes my friends will send me a picture of a girl or a video and they're like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. And I literally, out of love, go, hey, please don't send me this. I don't want to see this, because it's going to make me feel bad. Instead of admiring this person who I'm sure is really lovely, I'm just going to feel bad about myself. That's just how it is. And I wish I had more self-confidence where I could be like, wow, she's so gorgeous. Oh my God, I'm going to follow her. But I just don't do that. I don't know. And yeah, it's difficult. I think if I had a really cool life, I would probably do something like Harry Styles, where I just post a photo of every concert I go to / am in. This is if I was a rock star, and it's clear that he's not maybe the one posting it, but someone else. And then that's it. And just like work, and that's it. I think that would be really lovely. Right now, my Instagram personally is just a mess. I'm still kind of figuring out what I even want of it. But it's stupid. Social media has its pros and cons, and how you engage with it will really, I think, dictate a lot of things in your life that you may not consciously not realize. Even like the way people dress on Instagram, or even through Depop, when I look through Depop and I look at people's clothing that are being sold, that influences how I want to dress, what kind of clothing pieces I feel like I need to buy or to wear, and what is cool versus not cool. However, I would argue with fashion, we're coming to a much more open-minded place where like all fads, all eras are in style, which I think is really cool. But with social media, there's just different looks, and they're all kind of celebrated, honestly, on social media, and you can be whoever you want, and I think that's really empowering. I think it's, however, about limiting who you are intaking in your social media, so that you yourself still feel empowered and inspired by these cool people who are posting, but you don't feel lesser than because you don't look like them, or because you don't dress like them, or have their job or their skills. So it's a very complex relationship. I don't know if I got anywhere with this podcast, honestly. I think it was just a big ramble that's already way too long, so I'll probably cut it a bunch down. But it's a difficult world to navigate, and I think the more you can be off social media as a young person, the better. I would say that. The more you realize that most photos are edited extensively by celebrities and by influencers and filtered, and some amazing situations in their lives that you may see on social media are created just for sharing and just for social media. That's really important. You just have to be conscious of the complete artificiality and construction of social media while you're on it. And if you can be conscious of that and not get swept into it, which is very difficult and something I still struggle with daily, then you can have some fun on social media. Yeah, social media is complicated. I don't know. And some people don't have any presence on it, like Jennifer Lawrence, I think, is a good example. Other people, and they're doing just fine. And I think for some people, it's very toxic to be on social media and you just can't do it, or you need a team to do it for you. But to the day-to-day average person who does not need to have a social media presence, I would encourage you to delete it or keep it solely as a way to connect with friends, like your close friends, and that's it. But be conscious, those ads are going to get you. Every time you go on TikTok's Reels, they're collecting what you like to watch more of and will recommend you things like that. It's really scary, honestly. But it's an interesting world. I'm excited to see where social media is headed in the next 5 years, but I don't know if it'll get any better. I'm worried for current younger generations of getting completely addicted and just getting dopamine from social media and validation and likes and attention and views. I think that's already happening with people in Gen Z or even millennials. Yeah, it's a complicated world. Be careful in it. Be conscious. Don't lose who you are because you're influenced by a fad or a trend. Try it out if you want, especially if it's fashion. But at the end of the day, still know who you are at the core and form your own opinions about, world events, certain subjects without social media. That would be my piece of advice that nobody asked for. Anyways, I'm going to end this rant here because I have to edit it down into something legible. I can't speak today. But thank you so much for watching. You can go follow me on my Instagram or Twitter, but Instagram would be preferred, at Ann Makasinski, ANNMAKOSINSKI. And I will see you. If you have any ideas of what you want me to rant about next, let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.